Hello and welcome, creative and beautiful souls, to a new episode of the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. We are fast approaching Christmas, we are approaching the new year. Everyone is busy, so let's just hang back with this podcast, relax, grab your favorite work in progress, grab your favorite beverage, and just hang back with this episode. Because I want to talk to you today about hosting crochet-alongs. And as of the recording of this episode, this is the last day of my own crochet-along. I hosted an 8-week crochet-along called The Overstory. It was inspired by the book The Overstory, and I just had the most fun. And I feel like that's what ultimately this is all about as a crochet designer. It does not stop with crochet designing. Why not make the whole process as fun as possible? So, I want to talk today about how crochet alongs really changed my whole crochet design journey and why I love them so much. And I know that hosting crochet alongs can be something to help you grow as a crochet designer so much and really grow as a crochet designer exponentially, getting your design seen, getting more followers, getting more sales. But first, let's talk about the crochet along I just did. It was so fun to do, but also I connected to so many different people. I feel like it is something that some of us struggle with nowadays, especially post COVID, to connect to like minded people. Social media isn't really social anymore. It's just scrolling, 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 finding something new to like, to be inspired by, to be exhilarated by, binge watching on Netflix. It's all go, go, go. There really, I feel personally, is no true connection in a lot of what we do currently. And so when I thought about hosting the Overstory Crochet Along, I really wanted to make it a point to connect back to our fellow crochet friends and make new ones in the process and just work together on the same thing and just enjoying our hobby again instead of it being something to tick off your to-do list. Because I've been doing this crochet design thing for a really long time. I mean, I started my blog in 2014. So actually, that's like 10 years ago now. Oh, I think I missed an anniversary. But anyway, crochet alongs have changed. And I remember when crochet alongs became a thing, with Sophie's Universe as a mystery crochet along, with the whole notion of connecting to fellow potential crochet friends and really doing something together, helping your fellow crochet along members out. Because that's also a big thing around crochet alongs is when people are insecure if they can actually crochet something, participating in a crochet along really gives them a bit of extra confidence because the bar for asking for help isn't that high. Some people they feel a little hesitant to ask a crochet designer for help to reach out, but in a crochet along, it's actually encouraged to ask questions and also to help your fellow crochet along members out. And as the years went by, I saw that a lot of yarn brands, a lot of big time designers and small time designers, they only saw it as a way of driving more sales. And I do want to make it a point that hosting crochet alongs, yes, it's a very good sales machine. It's a very good way of connecting to your customers and really creating that bond, really creating that loyal customer relationship and them getting to know you more and really connecting you to your customer. And oftentimes crochet alongs they create a loyal customers at worst and new crochet friends at best, I'd like to say. So, of course, it's an amazing sales machine, but somewhere along the line, a lot of brands, designers, stores, whatever, they totally forgot that crochet-alongs originally were to crochet along, and simply cutting up your pattern in parts, slapping a discount on it, and opening a Facebook group is not a crochet along. It can be, of course, but you will find that if you host it that way, people will get disappointed. And a lot of people, they're like, well, if this is what a crochet along is about, I won't be joining the next one. So, what we want to do is when we host a crochet along, again, which is so good for your growth. So, let me just tell you how hosting crochet alongs have changed my whole design journey. So, when I released the Hotel of Bees shawl, in the first 24 hours, I can remember this so well because it was my first paid pattern. And I really, as with every pattern release, you really don't know how things will go, how many sales you will get, if people will even like it. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it's all part of the journey. And so that's all okay. It's all part of the process. So I really didn't know. And my husband, my now husband, he said, how many do you think you will sell? How many patterns? And I was like, I really know that this is such a unique pattern, so maybe 50. That was like my amazing super goal. Like, okay, maybe 50. Like overall, in the next months or years, I will sell 50 copies of this pattern. And I remember so well when I hit that release button. It was like 50 in the first 24 hours. And I was like, what? What? How is this even possible? Because this was like my first paid pattern release. Previously, it was all just free blog patterns, so nothing paid. And I really didn't know how it would go. So I was like stumped. I was over the moon with those 50 sales. I mean, you cannot imagine how happy I was. I was doing dances. Anyway, then I got approached by so many different moderators of crochet along groups, of people on Revelry, on people on Facebook. They were like, this design is amazing. We want to do a crochet along with your design. And so what that did is it got so many more eyes on my pattern because it was released as a crochet along and not as a standalone pattern. And I learned a lot since then. And they were some of the most painful lessons I've ever learned because I was like, well, I actually don't know what to do with a crochet along. So I literally just, the pattern was already released. So it was just one part. I was like, okay. So I just slap a discount on it and I host it in the Facebook group. I say, well, we're starting the crochet along now. It's from then up till then, and happy crocheting. And then people started asking questions, and I was like, I didn't know what to do with those, and I was actually accused of it being a money grab. I was so unprepared. And I took those lessons to heart. I learned from them, but those were some very painful lessons. My point is, you don't want to go into hosting crochet alongs blindly. Like I said, don't just cut it up in parts, call it a crochet along, and then happy crocheting. You really want to host an amazing crochet event because in hosting such an amazing crochet event, people will go, I want to be there. I know that this event will be amazing. So I cannot wait for you to host your next crochet along. That's how it goes with hosting these events. So what I'd like to go over, because I really don't want you to make the same mistakes I did, I want to ask you to consider hosting a crochet along now or in the future with an existing pattern or maybe a new pattern when this is something that you are entertaining the idea of, let me go over a few of my crochet along hosting best practices things you really want to do to really make it into that amazing event that will really tie loyal customers that will follow you for life. I mean, I have names come up in Facebook groups on social media. It's always the same people because they are loyal to me and they just love what I make, is my point. And they love my crochet-alongs. And they should because they are amazing. And I'm now going to share you some of the things you really want to do if you want to host your own crochet-alongs. So this is from a PDF, which is added to my secret crochet design library. It's a library that's only accessible for newsletter subscribers. So if you subscribe to the newsletter, you will get the secret link to the library, which is full of so many amazing resources. I continuously add to the library, so there are new things added all the time. And of course, I'm very open to feedback. So if you're like, well, I'm currently missing this or I'm wondering this, you can, of course, just shoot me an email and I'll maybe see if I can add new resources on your request as well. So things like PDF templates or even a mini workshop on how to create your own crochet charts, a workshop on how to elevate your crochet designs to the next level so that you actually release amazing and unique designs. How to get the best design inspiration because that's where all of the unique designs start. And also this PDF on how to host an amazing crochet-along event. So let's go over a few of the best practices. The first thing that I really made the mistake of is that in the beginning, I didn't give enough time for supplies because people are going to join your crochet along from all over the world. You really want to give them enough time for getting their yarn, getting their hooks, their notions, whatever. So you really want to give at least 4 weeks from the time you give the yarn requirements to actually starting the crochet along because it's simply not fun if you are calling it a crochet along, but half of the people still haven't got their supplies yet. That's just not fun for anyone. My next tip is to not rush it because there simply is no fun in cramming a whole blanket into a 6-week crochet along and making your participants constantly feel like they are behind. You really want to be mindful that crochet is a hobby and not something to check off your to-do list. So make sure that the pacing suits the shape and size and the difficulty of your project. My next tip is to create a sense of community and really crochet together, really create that crochet along feeling because crochet alongs are amazing for increasing your pattern sales, but you don't want it to be the sole reason to host it because there are other ways to increase your pattern sales. If that's like your main thing, you will always be drained and unfulfilled in the process. So we always want to ask ourselves, how can I create that sense of community and sharing, enjoying a shared hobby in your crochet along event? And then there's the question on where to actually host your crochet along. And I have an answer that's really simple. It is the place where you enjoy spending your time on and also is easy for people to engage with each other. So for me, that's Facebook for several reasons, but for you, this can be a Ravelry thread or even Discord or Reddit or whatever you like to hang out personally. Another thing, this is like a golden information, is to give an extra layer to the experience. So it's just one thing to crochet along together, but it's another thing to create an immersive event. So we want to ask ourselves, how can I create an extra layer to the crochet along experience? And then the last one, there are more in the PDF, but I just wanted to highlight a few best practices. The last one is less is more. So you really don't want to overwhelm your crochet along members with things to keep up on. Crocheting should all be about fun and not things to check off their to-do list. So if you're like, well, you need to crochet and then you need to do this and you need to do that, and people get overwhelmed and they just fall off the bandwagon. They're like, whoa, no, this is too much for me. I'm going to stop right here. Those things happen. Regardless, I mean, personal things can always happen, of course, but it will certainly happen if you overwhelm your crochet along members with content to keep up on. So, if you want the full PDF with all of the best practices, it's in my secret crochet design library, which is totally free. Just my gift to you, because I know how hard it can be as a new crochet designer to come up with everything yourself. And it can also be so time consuming. And why do we all have to reinvent the wheel? Now, next to the free PDF, I also have created this amazing toolkit with so many more resources, templates, questions to ask yourself that will really elevate your own crochet along event to the next level, so that you can actually put yourself on the map as a crochet designer, that people will rave about your crochet event and cannot wait to participate in the next one. So there's that. Either way, I really hope that with this episode, I know the thought of crochet alongs can be scary and overwhelming and like, oh, I really don't know. It feels like so much. And of course, it can be a lot. But if you have helpful resources like the best practices PDF or with the toolkit, it will certainly take that load off and make it actually fun to host a crochet event. And in the course of that, and in the process, of course, also sell a lot more patterns and also create those loyal customers that will buy from you time and time again. So that's what I want to end with. There won't be any new episodes for the coming weeks because I will enjoy a very dessert vacation. I will enjoy a very nice holiday with the family. And I will see you in the next year. Bye bye.